Hi, and welcome to Life Talks with Christoph. It's good to be with you again today. I wanted to talk about a subject that is a very common word, and that word is faith. A lot of people, whenever we think about faith, we generally think about ourselves that, well, I don't have very much faith, or the other way we think about it is, I wish I had more faith. Well, I want to look at a very simple scripture found in Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6, and it tells us some very interesting things about faith that would be an encouragement for you, whether you're a believer in Jesus Christ or not. This is a scripture. It says, "And without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him." So makes a pretty big deal about faith, saying that without faith, it's impossible to please God. So for just a moment, I don't want to focus on the faith part about it, but rather on the pleasing God part. When you think about your faith, most of the time you think, well, I wish I had more faith, or I don't have any faith at all kinds of different things focused on the faith. But rather than trying to measure your own faith, think about it this way. Faith is pleasing to God. So rather than to give yourself a mark of, I've got an A kind of faith or an F kind of faith, ask yourself the question, do I have the kind of faith that pleases God? Now understand, faith is not something that you come up with all by yourself. God actually gifts you with faith. When you hear His Word, it causes faith to grow within you. So faith, again, God says, faith is pleasing to me. And without faith, it's impossible to please me. Looking at that scripture again, without faith, it's impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to Him must believe that He exists and that He rewards those who earnestly or diligently seek Him. So two components that he talks about faith here, the writer of Hebrews. He says that you must believe that He exists. Well, that's kind of a basic one. But again, looking at God not as some mysterious force out there, but looking at God as someone personal who can be pleased or displeased. So as you approach God, whether you're just talking to Him out in nature or you're in your house and you're praying, number one is saying, God, I believe that you're real. I believe that you exist. I believe that you hear these prayers that I'm praying right now. God also promises that He's present with us. Jesus, in fact, told His disciples, no matter where they go, He would never leave them nor forsake them. So no matter what you're feeling, whatever you're going through, your basic starting point is saying, God, I believe that you are, and that you're here, and that you are listening to my prayers. And if I'm praying to you, I know that you're going to hear, you're going to answer me. So again, believing that God exists. Second part of that he says is that God rewards those who earnestly seek Him. Now this is something that a lot of people really struggle with. They say, well, God, if it be your will one way or another, that's what's going to happen. Well, this scripture says, in order to please God, you must believe that God is going to reward you when you earnestly seek Him. It flies against a lot of religious teaching. A lot of religious people would say, well, that's kind of selfish, expecting God to reward you for seeking Him. But yet the scripture tells us that God Himself says, if you want to please me, you must have faith. And that faith says that I exist, and that faith says I'm going to reward you for diligently seeking after me. So as you pray and seek after God, God's saying, you need to believe that I'm going to reward you when you seek after me diligently. What an incredible promise that God gives us, saying, trust in my nature, Trust in the fact that I love you, that I care about you, and that I want the very best for you. That's not religion. That's not saying here's the list of do's and don'ts, but it's God saying, come to me, seek after me with all your heart. Real faith believes that I am and that I'm going to reward you for seeking after me. It's not selfish, but it's God saying, when you do that, when you believe that I'm going to reward you, it pleases me. It makes me happy. So I want to encourage you to pray, talk to God, and believe that as you earnestly seek after God, that He's going to reward you. Thanks so much for listening today. I encourage you to click like both below if something has spoken to you. Also, if you want to give some feedback, put it in the comment section. Also, subscribe and you'll get notified when we do other videos in the future. So you have a great day. God bless, and thanks for listening.